We're starting right where we left off on this handout 11.2 for homework. Example 6. I've rewritten it for us. The instructions say 1, 0 of this function is given. Find all others. In our notes earlier we said that we knew if 1 minus I was an answer, automatically 1 plus I was. So they're asking me to find all the answers. I've just found one of them without any work. I'm going to graph. If I can graph and see where this crosses the x-axis, then I will have found the other one. I know that it has 3 because this is a third degree equation. Y equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus 6x minus 4. Graph. Notice that this crosses at 2, or at least it looks like it crosses at 2. If you ever want to be sure, you go second graph, shows a table. Whenever the y value is 0, whatever the x value is tells you that that's one of the zeros, because when this crosses the y-axis, when it crosses the x-axis, y is 0. So that point right there is 2, 0. So I know 2 is my other answer. So 2 and 1 plus I. Got my 3 answers, didn't have to do any work. The next section. These are for homework problems 12, 13, 23, and 24. For each polynomial function, list all possible rational zeros, find the rational zeros, and factor this. To get the possible rational zeros, that's where you're going to do this P over Q thing, where P is the factor of the constant. So P is going to be all the ways I can multiply and get negative 10. And Q is the factors of the leading coefficient. And so the leading coefficient on this one is just 1. That'll make this a little easier. So this example 7, f of x equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus 13x minus 10. P equals plus or minus 10 times 1 is 5 times 2. All of those are the only ways that I can multiply and get 10. You don't really worry about that negative sign. Q's, all the ways I can multiply to get that 1, so that's just 1. So P over Q is pretty easy. It's plus or minus 10, 1, 5, and 2, because if I put all of those over 1, I'd still get 10, 1, 5, and 2. Notice that that's really 8 possibilities because of that plus or minus in front of it. Now, I found the possible ones. Now they want me to find the answer. So I'm going to try graphing this. I'm always going to try my graphing calculator because I'm lazy, and if that'll help me, I'm happy. X cubed minus 2x squared minus 13x minus 10. I know this has 3 zeros. I just don't know if they're all real or not until I graph it. Now that I've graphed it, I can tell that they are all real because this crosses the x-axis in 3 places. Negative 2, negative 1, and 5 are those places. If you doubt that in the least, you go second graph. There's your table. Negative 2 is one of them. Negative 1 is one of them. You just have to scroll up and down and look, and 5 is the other one. There are the 3 answers. Those answers are the zeros. Now factor this. If those are the answers, then x minus each of those would be the factors. So x minus negative 1, x minus negative 2, and x minus 5. I'm kind of working backwards. kind of like cheating a little bit. The factored form of this is x plus 1 times x plus 2 times x plus 5, x minus 5. Because you can easily see that if you had factored this and you set each of those equal to 0 and solved, you'd get x equals negative 1, x equals negative 2, and x equals 5. Let's look at one more of these. Let's look at example 7a. I don't even have it on your handout, but I want to do this. Example 7a is 6x to the 4th plus 7x cubed minus 12x squared minus 3x plus 2. List all possible rational factors. P is plus or minus 2 and 1, because 2 times 1 is the only way I can multiply and get 2. Q is plus or minus 6, 1, 3, 2. P over Q is plus or minus 2 over 6, taking this and putting it over this, 2 over 1. Scoot over here, I have 1 over 6, 1 over 1, 1 over 3, 1 over 2. Y'all, I did 2 over 6, 2 over 1. I should have also done 2 over 3 and 2 over 2. You take this 2 and you put it over all of these. You take this 1 and you put it over all of these. Then you simplify all of those fractions. If this has a rational answer, it's going to be plus or minus 2 over 6, which is 1/3, 2, this 2/3, 2 over 2, which is 1, 1/6, 1 over 1, which is 1 again, so I don't repeat it, 1/3, I've already got it, so I don't repeat it, 1/2. So if this has a rational answer, it will be one of those. Let's use our graphing calculator and see what this looks like. Six x to the 4th plus 7x cubed minus 12x squared minus 3x plus 2. I can easily see that this crosses the x-axis at -2 and at 1. I can see that one and I can see that one easily, but I got 2 in the middle here I got to try to find. So I'm going to do second calc, because that says trace. I'm going to be trying to find zeros, so I'm going down here to 0. I'm moving the cursor to the left of that point I'm looking for, pressing enter. Moving it to the right. I hopped over the x-axis, that puts me to the right. It asks me if I want to guess. No, I press enter again. And it tells me -0.5, so that's -1/2. Now I got to find this other one. Second calc 0. Move to the left of that place I'm trying to find, which is right above there. Press enter. Move to the right of it. Notice it says right bound down here. Press enter. It asks me, do I want to guess? No, I press enter again. I have 0.3 with a bar over it, which is 1/3. I now have all 4 of my answers. The instructions for doing the procedure that I just did are found on the second page of this handout. So I've given you step-by-step instructions to do what I just did. these are the answers. I want to know the factored form of this. X minus negative 2, x minus 1, x minus negative 1/2, x minus 1/3. You know that this changes to x plus 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 1/2 times x minus 1/3. You will not see answers left with fractions in them. Multiply both terms inside of that fraction by your denominator, which would make this change to 2x plus 1 and this change to 3x minus 1, so that the final answer is x plus 2 times x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. Hopefully that will help you be able to do these with not too much work.